Yeah,
little
but
different mix for it.
it's
Yeah.
a township.
Go to meetings?
Yeah. I
All
don't
right.
know.
Yeah, scroll down. Oh, the clock is pretty accurate, isn't it?
Planning commission.
Well, it stays on top of things once in a while. All right, I'd like to call the
Here it is.
February 5th East Allen Township Planning Commission meeting to order. Please rise for pledge of allegiance.
Where's the flag today?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right.
Are you our legal support tonight also?
Sure.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Daniel?
Here.
Mr. Chamberlain?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Hemming?
Here.
Mr. Mills?
Here. All right, public comment. Let the record reflect there's no public to comment. Approval of minutes from the January 8th meeting. Only
Nobody
comment?
has any objections, I make a motion
I-
to approve.
No, because on the two items it says no quorum was met when in fact we had three
It
people
says
for
that all
quorum.
the time.
Yeah.
It says that all the time.
No?
I haven't noticed it before, or when I had noticed it, I called it out, but
Yeah, I know, but every time we have a meeting, minutes that printed, it says that every time. Quorum not met, 3 passed, okay. So I don't know what's wrong with this setup.
Interesting. Was the attendance right in the notes?
I don't know,
I didn't even look because I wasn't at the meeting.
I know you did.
I was,
The attendance was right, everything's right with the minutes. From my,
We will edit
We'll
the
figure that.
quorum that it shows up correctly, but if there's nothing else wrong besides that,
no,
you can just
There is
make a
not.
motion
that's right.
subject to that.
by the way, I actually watched it on YouTube, but not live. And you could probably use another microphone on that table.
We do have microphones for that, they don't wanna speak into it at times, and then
No?
the dialogue.
Yeah, I have trouble with that.
It'd be really
Yeah.
nice if you had a camera on them too.
Well, we talked about that, but trying to get one camera to work is challenging enough right now to get a second one, but yeah,
Just saying.
yep.
Okay. So Norm, you made a motion to accept it with the correction of the quorum statements. Norm, is that correct?
yeah,
All right, we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Having a motion by Norm, a second by Art. Roll call, please.
Mr. Daniel?
yes,
Mr. Chamberlain?
Abstain, not present.
Mr. Long?
Abstain, not present.
Mr. Hemming?
Yep.
Mr. Mills?
Yes. Let the record reflect motion passed. 3 votes to none. We have,
Which is
we
a
have a
quorum.
quorum.
And we do have quorum.
All right. Okay, moving on, Planning Commission reorganization, which was postponed from last meeting due to the lack of a full board. Need, election of the chairperson. Do we have a recommendation, nominate anyone for the position of chairperson?
Yes, I'll nominate Mr. Robert Mills.
Okay, we have one nomination. Do we have any other nominations? If I understand correctly from Robert's rules, since there are no other nominations, the basic, it goes as is.
Whatever you want it to be.
No, I had read it because I read it, not last year, the year before. If there's only one nomination for a position, then it's basically, I forget the technical term for it, but it's gone,
Yeah,
it's assigned.
it's a de facto ballot
Right,
that's being
de
cast
facto
for one.
ballot. All right. Moving on, we have the election of the vice chairperson. Do we have any recommendations for a nomination of vice chair?
Recommend Marty Chamberlain.
I have a recommendation for Marty Chairman. Do we have any other recommendations, any other nominations? Let the record reflect there is no other additional nominations, and de facto chair, vice chairperson will be Marty Chamberlain. All right, moving on to the election of the position of secretary. we have a nominate, anyone to nominate for the secretary?
Nominate Norm Daniel.
You have a nomination on the floor for Norm Daniel. Does anyone want to make any other additional nominations? As we have no other nominees, the de facto nominee, Norm Daniel will be the secretary for the planning commission.
Yeah, all you do is get the sign, and sign, and sign,
But
and
you
sign,
get all of the,
and
but you
sign.
get all of the privileges that come along with it.
It's exercise, Norm, it's exercise. Yeah.
My hand starts out real nice, and at the end it's sloppy. I don't know how you get through it all.
Because I don't sign my name like I used to anymore. It's an opportunity to actually
You know
sign.
what my secret is? My signature looks like this.
I did hear where they're bringing cursive back to schools again. Imagine that. And I hear where they're banning phones in school. Again, imagine that. All right, moving on.
Your mileage may vary.
Business before the planning commission. The first item is Saldo 2026-001 UGI Bath Regulation Station Minor Subdivision. We have the applicant before us. Yes. Please.
Should I?
Maybe you
Put
should
one
use
of
the
these lights
podium,
up.
because go to.
We have microphones, they just have to be put out. Thank
I
you,
think the
Vice-
vice chairman should be in charge of the microphone.
I was gonna say, thank you, Vice Chair.
Turn it around.
Just clip it in on the top, there you go.
Hold on, let me turn it off.
Wasn't he supposed to be an IT kind of
That's
guy?
what I was just thinking, yeah,
And an audiovisual
AV, yeah.
AV roadie.
Will you please state your name and address for the record?
Luke Lichtenwallner from UGI Utilities, office based at 2121 City Line Road, Bethlehem, PA.
Thank you. All right, we do have a review letter from Hanover Engineering. Basically states that everything you have submitted is administratively correct.
Complete.
Complete. Very good, correct? Yeah, complete. Would you have anything you'd like to speak to?
So this is for one of our regulator station projects. For those of you unfamiliar, on the gas side, a regulator station is like a substation. It takes the high pressure gas and lowers it down to pressure that's in the general distribution system, in all the streets, feeding all the local customers. This project was brought on due to the load growth and development that is ongoing in the area. Along with the project, increased capacity, also increased sound attenuation of the facilities themselves, as to not disturb the neighbors that are adjacent to it. So this project will be moving the lot line from the existing UGI property line with the permanent easement that UGI already has adjacent to it. It will be moving the permanent easement into a UGI-owned portion of the parcel, and then giving the equivalent square footage of land back to the adjacent landowner along the length of the property.
You guys have done quite a bit of work there already, right?
Yes.
That's how you show up on your plan.
This is solely the plan for the lot line adjustment. The facilities that are ongoing are currently in construction, not finished. Only mechanical work was essentially started for there, so none of the new work is shown. With the completion of the project, the larger square that's there will be abandoned, along with the long tube-like item with a few appurtenances showing off of it. And then the new regulator station with the sound containment structure around it will be about 10.5 feet off of the new property line.
So you're saying that the dark, big square,
Yep,
that's gonna be gone?
correct. That's the existing sound containment structure over the existing undersized station.
Okay.
Oh, that's that little building.
Yep,
So that's the
okay.
square, it's not the entire existing facility,
correct.
it's
It's,
just that,
that
large
square is the
square.
existing building that's there.
okay, that's being deleted.
Yep,
And I'm assuming that the structures you're currently constructing is on your property?
Yes. So the structures that we're building were within the permanent easement and the UGI-owned property.
Okay. This gives you the distance outside of the easement.
Yeah, this gives us, to meet the Uniform Construction Code, typically UGI doesn't own property, everything's solely done on a permanent easement. But with UGI owning property and having the permanent easement, the Uniform Construction Code states that we can't put the sound containment structure over a property line.
So where is is the easement you're referring to the property, or is the easement separate from the property that UGI owns?
So the permanent easement that we have is essentially the land that UGI is acquiring from the neighboring landowner. That's the 23-foot by 180-foot hatched parcel that's on there.
Okay, so that you have as an easement, but now you're doing a lot line adjustment to own it.
Correct.
Okay. So you are doing construction in the area that you're looking to acquire
Correct.
as an easement, yeah. Was land developed, building? Was building
So-
permits issued, or?
Yeah, so they have applied for a building permit. As part of that, the township had reviewed it for the impact for land development, and we were in favor of waiving
Okay,
land development because of it being a utility structure and the previous building was waived. But the building is on the current property line in the easement and on their current property. And because of that, it won't pass the approvals for the building process, because it's in the middle of the property line.
okay,
And the building code requires a easement for both property owners on both sides of the property, which wouldn't work in the case of their utility.
okay. So we will be doing a full review of this plan. You know, some of the things are that you're not showing the full property boundary with meets and bounds for either of the lot. Well, I think you're not showing meets and bounds for either of the properties. The only thing that's provided on the plan right now are meets and bounds for the areas that are being transferred, but you will have to show them completely, and I think the UGI parcel, this plan doesn't even show like the very tip of it. And I think too, with this plan, if you are currently under construction, I mean, you are required to show all existing and man-made features on your site and within 100 feet. So the fact that you have a building permit and you're under construction, I think you need to show that on this plan.
Okay.
And like your property lines, this plan was very difficult for me to figure out at first what was going on, because your property lines look almost like a utility line. So like usually your property boundaries are dark, solid lines, you know, so they stand out. And then, you know, they are required to have meets and bounds for the whole property boundary for both lots that are involved with this lot, we'll call it a lot line adjustment, which is what it is.
And I will relay that information to our design engineer, and I'm sure those comments will be coming out with the township engineer's review letter as well.
Okay.
Certainly, questions or whatever, feel free to contact them. To keep it quick, as done as quickly as possible. So do you guys, does UGI own the right of way all the way out that old railroad bed?
Yes, UGI, there's a mixture of owned property and easements throughout the old rail bed. UGI, from what I understand, UGI acquired that in a short sale back in the early 90s. So all of the land that was condemned by the railroad, UGI now holds easements for, and all of the acquired land from the railroad, UGI now owns. So along the length of that, there's some owned and there's some easement portions.
Right, because it goes north to where it used to spur off of that existing, that's still
Yep.
there. And then it goes south across Locust Road and then runs down into
It
the
goes-
housing development or.
Yep.
And comes
Yeah,
out
it goes down
to the intersection
behind
of-
Shark and Supply, goes over past Willowbrook Road, over past the airport as well.
Because anybody that develops back there has to be aware of that and can't basically encroach upon that.
Correct.
silly question, I don't know if this is pertinent or not. Can you guys make that a trail?
I know
Can a
that,
trail be made of that?
I know that has been done as a conditional approval for a large square footage pipeline project that occurred, with active construction. With portions of construction, I know UGI, in the past has tried to avoid that due to liabilities, because
Okay.
UGI owns the property as opposed to, and having the insurance versus
Sure.
the public accessing the property.
Okay.
I know the length of it is maintained existing, so that way we can do our bi-yearly leak surveys on it as well.
Right, okay.
It actually would be nice to have it from that development down through, closer to where the park is.
Mhm.
um, Where the Norbath Trail is.
Yeah,
Because there's no way to get from that area.
Yeah, but that was approached once
Oh,
before,
yeah,
when
yeah,
they were
I'm
trying to do the trail, and UGI said no,
Oh, yeah.
for
and I-
liability.
Well-
They even put gates up,
Well, and that's
you know.
the liability issue is understandable.
Yeah, there was more to the situation at the time. A few years ago, we had a subdivision where stormwater eroded the line, and as part of that was the same time that we were asking for the trail and looking at extensions. We haven't done anything since then, but we have a settlement agreement, and that has since been resolved, and that issue was taken care of by the developer who had caused it. But, yeah, no, there's a lot of discussion over the years with trail connections and different things.
Right. Yeah, it would have been a perfect one all the way over to East Allen Township, you know, and, because it went over there by, Snowdrift, before they took that bridge down.
Pretty much, I mean, my understand, doesn't this go near the Sheckler Elementary School in Caddy? Is that there's like a substation behind Ray Street?
Yeah, there's one on the west side of the river, where Pine Street
Yes,
crosses.
yeah,
But yeah, the line continues through
yeah,
that way.
feeds over to Whitehall.
Well, the line behind my house is, for all intents and purposes, a trail, not that it's used by many people. But there are people who bike on it and a few people who
Four-wheeler.
walk on it.
Four-wheelers, no?
They're not, the
They're
four-wheelers
ignoring the
aren't too
signs,
bad.
aren't they?
I'm sure these people are happy with their snowmobiles this year, though. They finally get to use them.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for the tangent, I just.
No, understandable.
All right.
Do
Any
you-
other questions or
Do they
comments?
plan on expanding their service anywhere?
So as, developers and residents request service, that's all reviewed on a case-by-case basis. Currently in UGI's tariff, there is a portion, if there's a customer within 100 feet of a facility, the main is automatically extended to serve that new customer. However, I know each individual service line addition or main addition in the roadway is evaluated based off of customer count and new facilities, customers do have contribution to. So depending on the contribution cost, some residents choose to take the additional service, some don't. A lot of the new developments and warehouses pay for upgrades, bringing mains where they weren't in the past. And then I know as the new mains are brought across the road and new road frontage past existing residences, they get the option to hook up as well.
Okay.
Yeah, when they ran the line in my neighborhood, initially it was gonna be $3,600, but they
For hookup.
reduced it to $2,100
For hookup.
for hookup. And I recovered that in 2 years.
Right, well, I'm sure. Based on the
I was
price
just
of
curious
electricity.
because where I'm at, I know they extended the line down Colony Drive so far, and then they stopped. And I'm beyond that. And I know there's other people that are on propane in my area, but I don't think there's that many.
Yeah, the best option is if there's a bunch of residences that that they're interested, is have everyone call in at the same time, because then that all plays into the evaluation that one helps the other.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? Do you have a motion to accept the plan
I'll move that the plan is administratively complete and can proceed to the next stage.
Second?
A motion on the floor by Tom, and second by Marty. Roll call, please.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes,
Mr. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Mr. Hemming?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes, let the record reflect motion passed 5 votes to none. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time tonight.
Yep, thank you for coming and have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Good, with additional business before the commission, we have a discussion of the 2025 annual report. Marty, I didn't see the material. Okay.
I think it makes sense to, the way that it's slightly simplified,
All right,
but I think that's what you built that synopsis page from.
right.
So you have that electronically?
This,
I think I sent that to you electronically.
I will check, I didn't see if I did, but, oh, you sent it as a PDF.
Oh, okay, I'll send you the,
Excellent, I'll review this and I'll get back to you, I'll send you an email or
And let me
something,
know if you
yay or
want
nay.
any changes.
Yep,
Yeah.
over the weekend.
Sorry, it took me a while.
Other than that, I will update the report and bring that to our next meeting. It's technically supposed to be done by March, submitted by March, I believe it is, if I recall correctly.
It's either March or April.
So, I will bring in the revised report for the next meeting, or I'll send it out for distribution for you guys to look at, comment on. I think I had, if I remember last year's, you trained, did you get training?
I did not get training last year. I
Oh.
need training.
You still need training. Okay, well, that's something to take a look at.
I gotta update you on my training, so
If
I
anybody
think
else is-
everybody should send you any training they
Right,
have.
if anybody's
last
gone any
year.
additional training sessions, you know, like I went to that one for the new developing things that I sent out to y'all. I went to that one, I went to another one, and there's a couple I'm gonna go to again this year. If you guys have gone to any of those, just send them to me so I can put them in the table for everybody.
Okay, I completed coursework, if that helps.
Such as,
Geology,
He
Ecology?
took, yeah, you took classes in school. Those would count.
yeah, you can put them down, sure.
If they're related to.
Yeah, send them in. All right, any other discussion on the annual report? All right. Discussion on the planning commission bylaws. Frank and I worked on this a little bit, based on some work we had previously done as a group. Kind of went back through it, did some changes, some updates. Don't know if y'all,
I don't think it was uploaded, but it wasn't distributed, so I just was giving you the hard copies to digest it. I
okay,
was just gonna go over each section of generally what it was and then put it
Got-
on for
got
the
it,
next
that's all.
meeting. Yeah. So, obviously, Article 1 is the name of the commission. Article 2 is the authorization. What creates it is state law and the township ordinance. Membership, we did kind of go through the 5 members, residency requirements, how we would handle vacancies, the number of members. Then we go into officers, which you just did today, and their role, the election of officers, and how that interacts with it, appointed officials and staff and the role that they may have with the board, administrative support, and going through and working with you, the staff, the actual township staff. Then we do have an attendance policy for both commission members and staff and professionals. And then we have meetings. Now, most of this is not something that we came out of and said this is what we want. This was based on an example that Jill had provided us from Long Swamp Township. And there's a lot of sections that'll probably be verbatim if you look at it side by side. But then the last is our order of business for our meetings, that you can accept grants, any amendments, and then Bob recommended we add the annual report and the training requirements, since those are part of it, so. It's not anything that is terribly crazy, but it's more of a guide for your future replacements as they come in, that we can say, hey, here's how the commission runs. This is our founding document that goes off of, and everybody kind of has the same framework that we're working off of.
and the other part of it too is, if people want to submit their names for the planning commission, this is something that they could look at to kind of get a feel for what it is that's expected of them before they ever submit their name, rather than submit a name and then come back and go, yeah, this is way more than I wanted, you know, and I'm not interested in it after they've been appointed or whatever. So kind of serves several different purposes for us.
Just one comment, and I'm just seeing this,
Sure.
I think for the first time. There's a lot of stuff about communicating to the commission chair, and I'm not sure if you want to be informed that Joe can't make it, or I can't make it, or,
Well, actually, that's kind of been happening for the most part. People have, like Art's letting me know if people aren't gonna be here. It's good to know it beforehand. But whether it's myself included on an email to the township and myself, that's good to know. Because I usually will sometimes get in touch with Angela. I don't have a problem with it one way or the other, I don't think.
okay.
Yeah, I think for the most part, everybody's been emailing either as a group or emailing Bob, hey, I won't be in attendance, so that hasn't been an issue. The only thing is usually Joe with his vacations, he's not really telling us if Mark is coming in. I can just tell him that for that meeting, he can copy you, and if you want that responsibility.
Where specifically were you seeing that, Marty, or Tom?
I think it's under the attendance, right?
Attendance policy, Article 9, Section A, I think, or, I'm sorry, Section B. And I saw it somewhere else too, I thought.
I think
Article
section
8.
C.
Article 8, Section B as well.
Okay, we could put in there the commission chair, and the township support staff, or something to that effect, that way.
Yeah.
If one of us doesn't get it, somebody will get it, so people will know it, rather than having it singled out there as a single person.
It
Does
may
that make
be,
more sense?
maybe it should be the commission chair and or the township secretary, and she'll notify you.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's,
Yeah.
that way there's not multiple people, but she's the one that's gonna, like, if we have a quorum or not,
Right.
and calling, so.
that's what I said, but that's okay.
Wow, you said support staff, I wanted to designate it to an
Oh,
official,
oh,
like,
well,
one
okay.
person, not having,
I-
cause
I-
that could vary between her and I, or somebody else.
Right, well, I try to refrain from the use of secretary,
Well,
you know, in today's environment, and use
because
support staff
the
or
official
administrative
title,
assistant or whatever.
It's an official title, though.
yeah,
But if it's an
yeah.
official title, that's okay.
It is the actual official title of
Okay.
her position under the township
That's-
code.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that,
Yeah.
use the official title. no
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So if you're fine, like, I could put that in a draft, that the commission chair and the
Yep.
township secretary. And then you guys can coordinate closer to the meeting if we have a quorum or not, if
Yep.
the support staff for the professionals is coming to back up.
and we talk, I mean, we talk back and forth
Yeah,
frequently, so.
yeah, this, honestly, that's why I wanted to say, this has not been an issue, and this is just there because of what they had.
Right.
Whether we like this or not, I mean, even the percentage levels,
Well, and
I
again,
think,
the players could change over time, you know, and it.
It's good to set the expectation.
Right.
Mhm.
Sets the expectation, and they can be changed over time if something doesn't work out, whatever. So I guess at this point, the recommendation is take them home, review them, bring any comments back to the next meeting, and then we'll, we have to vote to implement them, to send them off to the, Board of Supervisors for approval.
Yeah, I don't see anything about the agenda, and who creates it, and when it's published, and
so,
how it's published, and where it's published, and
there is a section
is
on
there?
Article 11, I think, on the little second to last page.
Mhm.
But it's just the agenda format. We can tweak that and add those timeframes for submissions and when the agenda's prepared and when it's emailed. When I gave the draft to Bob, I really didn't tweak that, because
Mhm.
I guess while we're here talking about it, does the format of the current meeting work for everybody? Does it make sense the way it is? I think it works. I don't
Yeah.
think it is confusing. It is confusing to the residents. I can't tell you how many times I see people in other communities wanting to come to our meeting because business is deferred, and they see it on our agenda, and they're thinking it is actually on the agenda, and they're sharing it out.
Well, if that's the case, then I would say business not on on today's
Yeah,
agenda.
business not to be discussed or something
Yeah,
that,
just change the wording of it.
yeah,
Business
and we
not-
can do that.
Not for today's meeting, or not for the meeting of such and such a date,
Yeah, whatever wording you come up with.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can't say not on the agenda, because it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
Not to be discussed at this
Not being
meeting.
discussed.
Well, maybe there's something we can put in, like a summary of what it is, so that people know,
Yeah.
okay, business before is, there's gonna be somebody present, and there could be an expectation that action is taken.
Right.
Business being carried or whatever it's being, nobody will be present, no action will be taken, there'll be no discussion.
Mhm.
No, we can do that, and then we can add that about the, sending the agendas out.
Do you wanna, maybe moving it so you'll have like your business before the commission, then general planning commission topics? Like all your agenda items, and maybe just kind of move it down to the end of it,
Yeah, we can tweak this.
just as a suggestion?
Yeah, move it down out of that area.
Yeah, we'll reformat this and send out a draft, and then if you want, we can come back, but if there's any changes, you can make it in the Word document that we'll send out, and just send them back, and then we can go through them, if
Yep.
that works.
So one thing I do, we have the agenda, and then at the bottom, I have like the projects carried over, but it's just like the name, and then it'll give like the basic information, time extensions. But it's not part of the agenda, it's at the bottom, and that goes to the planning commission, but then when I give the agenda to post on the website, they're not included in it, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually was gonna look at,
Or you can keep it in that format at the bottom, just for planning commission, that you have it there to cut and paste back up, but
Right.
maybe cut it off after adjournment and not include it on the agenda you're posting.
yeah, well, with Diligent, I think we will have to consult taking it and putting it in a separate document that is like a clickable link, because there's a lot of stuff on here that when you go through the packet, you're thinking it's there, but it's not.
Yeah.
And you're winding it with a 100-page agenda packet, and it's
Right.
only 20 pages of stuff you need.
Right.
And we're trying to be transparent in the project so people can see everything for it. But that's something we have to reformat on our end, and maybe that's what we do. We come up with a PDF document and then link it to our website of where the most recent stuff is.
Yeah, I mean, for business being carried, really,
It started for,
so what I do, I go in here and I summarize the agenda to a single page for myself, and then I jot some notes down on it at home. And what I do for the things being carried is I put the name and the extension date, and that's it, nothing else, you know, just so I know when it, you know, highlighted in red if it's gonna expire, kind of a thing, just something very simple, that it's on there, we're tracking it, but there's nothing being done about it, and we know when the extension or when it's gonna expire.
I put like an asterisk and say if there's a time extension required next to it, then.
All right, so you're gonna look at this again to figure out how we can reformat that section of it so we don't confuse our constituents.
yeah, I'll retweak this and send something out for Monday.
And then you're gonna add something in here, submissions before or expected before.
Well, just the format of how they're on, when they're placed on the agenda, and then when the agenda is posted, the format that we have for the Diligent,
Right,
and then the agenda itself,
Right.
and then even the minutes.
Right.
So, yeah, that was a good suggestion.
okay.
And if a time extension is required, you can put that maybe under your agenda items. And maybe it's, you know, planning, it's like subdivision planning
Right,
items, and then I have additional items, and then time
Right.
extensions go down there, so that it's not on the agenda for discussion, just solely for time
right,
extensions.
and actually, it should be on business before the commission,
Because we
because
take
we
action.
need to take action on
Yeah,
it.
Right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So.
But
it-
have subdivision, land development,
Right.
and that,
Right.
and then that under, another category, additional items for
Yeah.
consideration.
That's a good point.
All right. Any other questions, comments?
Under the training part, okay?
Yep.
It says new people appointed 3 hours within 6 months.
Yep.
That sounds all good and dandy if there's training available.
Yeah, no, that is something that has been an issue, and it seems the training that we have is pretty much the same training. I think it's actually in the ordinance,
It is.
Yeah.
and maybe that's where when we do all of our updates, that we have to change that out of the ordinance.
Well, and this one here, keep in mind, planning commission member shall obtain 3 hours of training within the first 6 months. Maybe it should be within a year, because those LVPC planning training,
Yeah.
those are, how many hours? Those are what, 6 hours or something?
Yeah.
You're going
Oh,
to
it's
3?
long.
Some are 9, some are 12.
Yeah, they're like
some
9
are
hours of
6.
training, so you go to one of those planning or
Yeah.
zoning or whatever, you're gonna get more than enough in that first period of time, and they try to give at least one of those every year, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Brent?
They do, but I think the problem that becomes challenging is they're all in a row, you have to attend them consecutively, then take the test, and they tend to be in the summertime where people are on vacation. So maybe what I would suggest for the training requirements is, if you're looking at it, your first 2 years are the halfway point of your term, you have to complete at least 3 or 6 hours of training. If you do the 6, you're gonna complete the basic one of those courses in either subdivision, zoning administration, or
Right.
community planning.
Right.
And if you didn't do anything at that point, you're probably not interested in being on the board after 2 years,
Right.
and the next 2 years, you're just gonna kinda coast through.
Well, and the other part is, the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission has training, LTAP has training.
Yeah, there are various,
There's a bunch of different types of trainings, whether they're in person down at the LVPC building, or whether they're webinars. I mean, there are opportunities. You and I went to a couple of them, like for transportation,
Yeah,
for,
Yeah, and
For,
I even went to one of the PMI trainings down in
Lansdale.
Lansdale.
right.
So you could actually, I mean, it was kind of a pain to drive down there
Well,
for 40 minutes.
what
each
is
way,
frustrating with the PMPI courses is, there's no reason that they couldn't be a virtual and
Yeah.
have more of an interactive component to it to keep people accountable for taking the test. And the way they take the test in the end is not like it's an open book kind of situation. So it's not like
but They're not doing the test anymore.
no,
I don't remember.
So they don't even do the test?
No,
I'm
they
still waiting for
remember
a
a test.
test.
I went,
okay,
they did no end of the course test in
okay,
Lansdale, and the guy said they changed it.
okay. So everybody passes now.
Everybody gets a trophy,
Okay,
participation
All right.
He gets a
trophy,
trophy.
all right.
or
You attended.
participation certificate.
You might want to consider modifying the word training. I don't want to go
Education,
overboard
yeah.
with it, but I would say my geology course was just as beneficial for this planning commission as, or my biology 2 course or something.
Yeah, I think we've always, any type of educational format, and we've never checked this.
Or
We've
related.
we've never held anybody to the standard. It's just more kind of a tool of, hey, are you interested in this or you're not? And so far, we've been fortunate that pretty much everybody has, with the exception of maybe one member, since I've been here since
I'm right
2018.
here.
No, it wasn't you. No, it was none of the current members, so, no, and I think that was more of a work commitment, and I think it was an expectation that, what tends to happen is, I think every single one of you, except for Bob Mills, has started on the zoning hearing board, and somehow you didn't like,
Yeah, and I'm the only one that started off as a supervisor. and
you
then-
went backwards.
I went backwards.
Well, it isn't really bad.
But yeah,
Not really.
so,
Yeah,
Not
and
really.
I had to live through Stanley and, what was her name, Doreen?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God,
Oh, yeah, that was, yeah. All right,
You're still on the record, guys.
sorry.
any other questions or comments about the planning commission bylaws? Brent, action is going to be, Brent's gonna take these back, rework some of it, and come up with a little bit better wording for a standard agenda,
And then we'll provide,
description, and then provide some updates on the attendance policy statement. And send that out, and we'll give you the feedback on that. Looking to maybe adopt something at the next meeting, potentially. All right. Any other questions or I do have a question or a comment or a discussion point before we move on. This is something we talked about at multiple different times, and it just came up again where a tractor trailer was traveling westbound on 22 and a car was traveling eastbound on 22. Ice flew off of the tractor trailer and hit through the windshield of the car traveling in the opposite direction again. I was just going out 22 today, and I'm watching the stuff flying off of a tractor trailer. We don't have anything in our ordinances that specify this. It is now a law where they can be stopped for any reason, for that particular reason, and fined $50, and if something comes off and damages or injures a person, it could be a $1,500 fine. We talked about this before, and then I remember Jim bringing it up about, well, you know, how do you legislate supermarkets where they have tractor trailers that come in and go out? They're not really a heavy-duty location, right? Like where you got 20 or 30 tractor trailers on the premises at any one time, right? And I was thinking maybe we should do something where if there's a certain number of parking spaces for tractor trailers, there should be a requirement to have some type of snow removal facility on site. Like a truck stop, for instance. If you have a truck stop going in someplace, should that be required to have a snow removal facility? Like a Rudders or someplace where you've got trucks overnight staying there, you know, trucks there.
Well, I think that's the key distinction is they have enough that it's an actual more than one or two that are there, and that they're staying overnight where there's a potential where there's snow or ice coming down, and they're overnight, and then they have to clean it.
Right, and
Right,
that's, you know, again, I thought about this, I agreed with what Jim said, how do you really manage this? And I thought about it again over time, especially with this most recent event, and I thought maybe there needs to be a threshold, right? A threshold, whether it's overnight, whether it's a certain number, whether it's overnight and a certain number of spots or something. But again, if I look at it this way, if you have a law and you don't enforce it, what's the sense of having the law, right? You shouldn't have the law. And this is an issue, and we do have it a lot with a lot of the tractor trailers here, and I don't know who does or doesn't do stuff about it, but this is something I think we can do something about. I'm just throwing it out there. Give it some thought, whatever, if we should put something in or not. I appreciate whatever feedback you may have. I mean, I'm just not gonna make the decision myself, but
As a truck driver on TV said, I ain't climbing up there and doing that.
I'm not asking them to.
I know,
But if they have a facility that has it, then they should use
they
it.
should use it.
So I do recall that this topic came up more than once, I think, when we were talking through the zoning changes. I'm sorry for my memory, but did that make it into the zoning ordinance changes?
We have done nothing to.
I think it's in there, I just don't know what I
Okay,
put.
it's just
There is something that is in
I know
the.
we talked about it.
It's not in a specific section for use, but it's under the miscellaneous provisions. But I don't think it's a quantifiable, and it's more under the truck loading, where they have truck loading areas.
Well, it seems like.
We
that
just
would-
did not get to discussion on that specific.
Okay, okay. Do know we talked about it.
Yes, there've been multiple discussions on it, in multiple different scenarios and situations. Again, you know, it's hard to implement, but how do you implement it? How do you create a governance on it? And I guess what I finally thought about was if there's a certain number of locations, parking spaces, and it's an overnight scenario, maybe that becomes the threshold where you say, if you're building something new, it needs to be there. If it, you know, kind of the thing. All right. That's it. Any other items for discussion? All right, moving on, we have business being carried, East Allen Elderly Housing Text Amendment.
So, we talked about them coming back to have a meeting with the planning commission at the last meeting they were present at.
Yes, we did.
Who wants to be the one or two people involved in that discussion so we can set up the meeting with them? It obviously can't be everybody, so
I'll be
it's
happy
one or
to.
two.
I'll be happy to.
Bob, are you, Marty?
Well, I would say more than one of us should be there.
Well, I would let you do it if it was gonna just be two people. Are you're interested? You'd be
Yeah.
happy to do it. I mean, yeah. I think you'll bring a perspective I won't. based on.
Yeah, as you know, I'm very strongly in favor of this proposal.
Oh, yeah. Well, and not that I'm not, but
So,
Yeah, I would be willing to join in as well.
Alright, I will talk to you after the meeting, I just need some general dates, so we can set this up, cause we now have all of our support staff, but then we have the 2 planning commission members, the fire department, and their whole team,
Right.
so.
All right, moving on, 678 Jacksonville Road minor subdivision, Saldo 2025-005. The plan expires February 28th, 2026. Means it will expire before our next meeting, and
We have an extension on
Yes,
that.
we did get one.
we got an extension,
May 31st,
26?
2026,
Yes.
correct?
I would suspect they're gonna be in here not too long, because they're probably gonna wanna get moving on their properties, but I guess we'll
Well, I
see.
think they have to do sewage testing, which they cannot do right now. That's their stuck,
Yeah,
and they have to negotiate with the HOA and the county.
I'm with the wrong place, my mind is at the wrong location.
Not here, over there.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of
Oh.
the ones on Steuben Road for some stupid reason, even though it says Jacksonville Road. All right, moving on. In any case, no action required by the commission, on that item. Moving on to Sheila Good Minor subdivision, Saldo 2024-004, plan expires 3/31/2026. No action is required. The next item is Eastbound Convenience Store fueling and viewing at 6500 Hanoverville Road, preliminary plan, Saldo 2025-006. Plan expires May 31st, 2026. No action is required by the planning commission. And we have next Knollwood Major Subdivision Preliminary Plan, Saldo 2023-000. Plan expires June 30th, 2026. No action is required by the board or the planning commission. And then we have, last but not least, 6821 Stephen Road minor subdivision, Saldo 2025-003. Plan expires January 31st, 2027. No action is required by the planning commission. The only thing we didn't do is, are we going to keep our meetings on this Thursday, first Thursday of every month at 7 o'clock?
I thought you did that in December,
Oh, did we? I
Yeah.
guess maybe
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I guess we
because
did.
we
say
talked
that.
about the time change.
Stand where it is.
We got it ahead of the curve, that's right. All right. Questions, comments, public comment, let the record reflect that there is no public at all to comment. Any other questions or comments, gentlemen? I have a recommendation to adjourn, motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
A motion from Norm,
All I'm good for.
second.
we have a second by Marty, all in favor say aye.
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 Let the record reflect the motion passed, 5 votes to none. Meeting adjourned.
Frank, I don't know if you know I call it the man cave at,
Mhm.
Hanoverville Airport and whatever it is, Central.
Yes,
There's a handicap spot.
so it's not really a man cave, so it is a self-storage business. That's the only way they could permit it unless they
Okay.
went for a variance.
This is currently an
So
easement.
they had to require them, because
That's what
it,
they're saying.
Yeah, and then
the
they wanna
use,
change it
they have
into
to have 88